Hi, this is Raymond Camden, and in this video, I'm going to show you how you can automate removing background images at scale. I'm going to be using Firefly Services and specifically a Photoshop API that removes backgrounds from images. I'm going to show you first a simple Node.js script. I'll take a static input and static output and just run the job. And then I'm going to show you how we can automate this. For my storage, I'm going to be making use of Dropbox. You can see I have a folder here, remove BG process, and a input and output subdirectory as well. This is where we're going to work. Let's look at the code. So my script begins by getting a readable URL for my asset, essentially a way to read from Dropbox. It then creates a writable URL. This is a URL that the code can use to save the output of running our job. Then I authenticate with Firefly Services, passing my credentials. I kick off the remove background job. This returns a URL that I can then poll at an interval to see how it's running. Let's look up at the methods. So I begin by reading in my credential values from the environment. I've got two methods here that just wrap the Dropbox SDK. This is how I handle getting those URLs. For Firefly, here is the simple method to exchange my ID and secret to get an access token. And then I kick off the remove background job. This takes as input first the URL that it's going to read from, and then the output URL that it is going to write to. I simply send that information to the API, and again, that returns a URL. And then my last two methods, in poll job, you can see basically I'm just going to hit that URL, look at the status, see if it succeeded or failed. If it's not done, I have a utility method that helps me wait for 1 second. And that's pretty much it. So if we run this, and so you got my URLs, it got the access token for Firefly Services, and then when it's done, it returns back to me. Now, if we go back, look at Dropbox, we'll go into the output folder, and there is my photo minus the background. So that's a static way of doing this. Let's look at an automated way of doing this. And in this particular example, I am making use of Pipedream. Pipedream automates some of the things that makes it simpler for me. So for example, I set up a trigger that says, execute this workflow whenever a new file is added into my Dropbox folder, remove BG process. Now this will run for anything beneath it. So I added a simple code step that basically says, hey, if the new file was an output, this is not something that I want to worry about, so don't do anything. I then figure out what my output path is going to be, and I can use a simple string function to say basically, if I uploaded /input/foo.jpg, the result should be /output/foo.jpg. Next, I run some code against the Dropbox API to get the link, the upload write link, and you can see right there, get temporary upload link, passing that output path variable that I created. Essentially just changes input to output. And the result of this will be the URL that I'm going to use. Next, I have code, much like my Node.js code, where I'm going to exchange credentials for an access token. And then I'm going to kick off the job. And you can see it looks very, very similar. I'm creating my body based on the input and output, and I'm firing the job. I don't actually check the result here, and that's something that I should add to make it a little bit better. But let's actually go into my input folder, and I'm going to drag and drop a file into here. And let me find a good file. I'll drop a picture of my cat here, and it is uploading. All right, and in theory, if we go to Pipedream, we'll see it is automatically running. And we could see the process is going, and in theory, it was successful. Go back to Dropbox, look at the output, and bam, there we have our result. So I'll share links to everything I worked on today so you can look at it. Let me know what you think and enjoy.